What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I've just been told that I am not allowed to talk about Will Smith and his entanglement or his hilarious mental breakdown live in front of 20 million people because of the color of my skin. That is at least according to MSNBC, who is running this kind of weird race defense for Will Smith, as if Will Smith going up and hitting somebody is some sort of deep cultural difference between white folks and black folks. That a slap between black men is somehow different than one between white. And it's this kind of racial pandering, this kind of excuse making for folks that continues to perpetuate bad behavior. We know how the world would have reacted if Will Smith was a white guy and would have slapped a black guy. We know that he would have been arrested in that moment and called every word in the book. But at the end of the day, raising your hands at somebody in response to words is the exact same act, regardless of the color of your skin. It's assault, plain and simple. The fact that the media, in particular left-leaning media, chooses to excuse this behavior simply endorses the idea that they infantilize and continually look at the black community, for example, and think that they're incapable of being held accountable for their own actions, whether it's bringing up things that happened 500 years ago or this or that or the other thing. Left-leaning media is so quick to remove any kind of personal agency from groups of people that they deem lesser than, apparently. I don't view that. I don't view it that way. Will Smith is practically a billionaire. He has more privilege than any one of us could ever imagine. It has absolutely nothing to do with his skin color. What he did was what men do when they feel threatened. It had more to do with him being a man, quite frankly, than it had to do with the color of his skin. And it's absolutely embarrassing seeing these media pundits trot out individuals who continue to excuse this bad behavior. If you are one of my black viewers, and I know I have them because they email me, especially when I mention that, you know what I'm talking about. The black community is continually treated like this purse puppy by left-leaning media, as if, well, since he was black, you couldn't not slap him. You couldn't not, you just don't understand because he's black. He just had to do it. And it's different because, no. Will Smith is a human being the same way anyone else is. And he thought about those actions and completed them regardless of his skin color. Will Smith is probably the furthest thing removed. He probably has far more in common than super uber rich white people than any common day person of any color, by the way. The fact that you're giving him a pass because he's black and because you're trying to say, well, white people just don't understand. What is there not to understand? He stormed up on stage like a titty baby and slapped a man because he didn't like a lame joke. The real reason he did it is because he's had 100 dudes run through his wife and he felt like he needed to act like a man because that continually made him feel like less than a man. Will Smith is a cuck. Will Smith has a bald wife that no one cares about. She chose to shave her head. She's been prancing around acting like how empowering it was. It has absolutely nothing to do with her skin tone or her skin color. Okay? Yes, I've heard members of the black community talk about how black females in particular have to essentially whiteify, I don't really know what the right word is for it, their hair, right? Society isn't ready for big afros. And that probably was true. I'm not going to deny that. Obviously, I'm not a black female. I know that's crazy, but that's probably been true. Although now in 2022, it's obviously not the same as it was in the 60s, okay? Jada Pinkett Smith is 100 millionaire, okay? She's not dealing with oppression, all right? So I'm not giving her the same excuses as some work, paycheck to paycheck person who may have to deal with things in a different way. This is absolutely hilarious. Sift this out. MSNBC host says white people don't understand the Will Smith slap. This is peak infantilizing. This is peak purse puppying, okay? This, again, I want to be clear. This is what this woman is saying. A man went on stage under his own free will and raised his hand to another man, but it's somehow different because he's black. What this is trying to essentially say, well, I mean, it's just different. You have to view black folks differently. What? No, you don't. It's the same free will that anyone else had, and it's absurd to see this narrative. As MSNBC host over the weekend says that white Americans should sit this out as controversy persists around Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. Tiffany Cross, who anchors a weekend talk show on the left-leaning cable news network, interviewed actress Yvette Nicole Brown and The Griot, whoever that is, columnist, it's a website, The Griot, columnist Michael Harriot on Sunday, okay? Not that this matters, but it's two black individuals, okay? By the way, you're embarrassing yourself, okay? If you're going on national television and trying to add any kind of subtle nuance and say it's different because of color of his skin, you're embarrassing yourself. What the truth of the matter is, and everybody who knows this, Will Smith got cucked. Will Smith got publicly embarrassed by his wife in front of millions of people when she was hooking up with her son's friend and whoever else knows, okay? That is embarrassing for a man. He has been carrying that public embarrassment everywhere he goes. And in that moment, he thought he could snatch back his masculinity, and he only looked worse. Absolutely none of it had anything to do with his skin color. Harriet claims, however, that the incident was an example of how black people relate to each other, and in a way that white people don't understand. Excuse me? This is excuse making, plain and simple, all right? Brown chimed in, on Twitter, there were a lot of us, I'm assuming he's saying black folks, were like, y'all need to sit this out for your protection. When we need to have a conversation, we gonna have it. Sorry, it's my job to talk about things, and if you think that you have some sort of special nuance over assault, I don't know what you're saying about your own community, my friend. Are you saying that your community uses violence to communicate, and then that should be viewed differently because they're black? I don't exactly know what your point is. I'm serious. What is your point? That we're supposed to view this situation differently because Will Smith, a man worth $500 million, went on stage because he was a little baby and hit another man worth $200 million. It's different because they're black. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the fact that the media is trotting out all these clowns to push that narrative, I don't care what color they are. If you strike someone else, that's your decision, and it has nothing to do with your skin color whatsoever. Some people use their words. Some people use their hands. It is what it is. The black community, we understand that. Okay, so what you're saying is the black community is okay with assault. That's what he's saying. I'm not saying that. And I would argue that that's probably not the case. I'm sure that there are plenty of people who don't think that that's the case. Well, of course, added later, violence is not the answer, and all three condemned Smith. No, you don't get to condemn him after you trotted out there and said, well, since he's black, it's just different. But it was wrong. No, it's just wrong, okay, you clowns? And this is, by the way, I know my viewers know this, but, this is how the mainstream media views minority cultures. As purse puppies, as things to use to further what they want. They don't actually care about the black community. They care about using the black community to achieve an end. And if you leave the so-called plantation, we see how the media treats you. Look at how the media treats black Republicans. Look how there are many in the black community treat black Republicans, okay? They question their quote-unquote blackness as if blackness is somehow synonymous with being a Democrat. There is no hive mind, and just because you have the same skin color, the idea that you have to think alike or that you're supposed to think alike is media programming, okay? That is not you, my friends. That is not a natural human emotion or action, whether you're black, brown, blue, or purple, okay? The media teaches you that. Your family or your influencers teach you that, okay? Because you're black, you must think a certain way. No, I don't view it that way. Black is not a monolith of people that need to think exactly the same way. The media thinks that. Remember when that absolute idiot said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black? Remember that? That's how Democrats view black people, okay? If you don't vote for me, well, then you're just not black. Oh, I'm Hillary Clinton. I don't know a single black person, but I carry hot sauce with me when I go on the morning talk show with that clown Charlemagne, okay? Who's also a racist, okay? So, like, let's stop acting like, because, it sounds jarring if I say, well, black people shouldn't all think alike. I say the same thing about white folks, okay? Like, I say the same thing about all colors. Individuality. Do not let the media and do not let these pundits let you think that you're supposed to vote a certain way because of the way you were brought up, or because of your color of your skin, or because of the way you voted, or the way where you were born. It's ridiculous. Cross interjected, said she would try to put in context for our fellow white countrymen as best I can. In reality, truly black America, there's a commonality among all of us. If we went to a white person's home and it was their family dinner, we're sitting at the table and the mother hauled off and slapped the father and everyone at the table has an opinion cross-added. If I weigh in as a guest in this home and say, yeah, you guys are terrible, everyone's like, I'm sorry, when did you get an opinion? This is our family table. Oh, so all black people are a monolith to this person. Right? Like, suddenly, I'm not allowed to have an opinion on anything you do. Okay, let's trade that decision then. I don't want to hear your opinion about anything white people do. Okay? That means you can't have an opinion about the president. You can have an opinion about many of the things that go on in this. Just think about how ridiculous that line of thinking is. And the fact of the matter is, if I had to categorize a group of people who were simping for Will Smith and saying it was good, it was people like this who thought, yeah, that's how we are. That's what did Will Smith's son say? That's how real N-words handle things, or something like that. Okay, yeah, perpetuate that cycle and keep glorifying violence and keep seeing incarcerations rates go up and all this kind of stuff, and then say, well, geez, why did this keep happening to me? Maybe ask yourself, who wants you to continue acting in this manner and who continues to hold you to a different standard because of the color of your skin? It's the media. I hope you enjoyed this video, though, and we'll talk to you again real soon.